So as that, there's the plank. It's good, we use it all the time, but there's some priorities on it that we like to get straight first. Main idea of the plank, what most people do it for, is more for abdominal stability, kind of connection from arm to leg as we go through. So that will be our priority. So when we start doing a plank, I tend to have a earn it philosophy. I like to start on a wall, make sure someone has form, and then start dropping down, gradually adding resistance, starting more vertical, then dropping down slowly, increasing the resistance. So when we get through the checklist of what we want in a plank, pillar spine is my first thing, nice and tall. I don't want to see neck hyperextension. I don't want to see shoulders going up. I want to see ribs down. More when you get into sort of the hard style plank type style of how you want to like zip up and maintain the body tension. So after we have our pillar spine, we want to be able to make sure that we're keeping ribs in and maintaining our breathing expansion. Really easy to get a little bit of a pop on the ribs, which usually throws attention to the hip flexors and more the thoracolumbar spine. You might get a little bit of a lower back pinch too. And as soon as you lose that, usually then shoulders are going to start to navigate up and start to build some of the neck tension, which can be a common complaint. So when we start getting into plank, I like having more of a rolling plank as my standard. I get a little bit of front to back as I hold the front position. As I go to each side, I hit a little bit of frontal plane. And on the twist back and forth, as long as we maintain pretty good congruency between our rib cage and our pelvis, we're getting a little bit of rotational transverse plane challenge too on the transitional motion. So if we start up on the wall in kind of our earn it position, our main prompts are a nice long spine. I like to have almost like a slight tricep extension of the wall. I want to make sure I don't feel my hands popping off. Then I'm probably getting a little more into bicep, putting more tension up into the upper scapula. So if I almost get like almost a little bit of a tricep extension to kind of build this line, it's a good start. So from here, my checklist, I have my ribs down, I have my breathing going, I have my shoulder blades dropping to the body, I can do a little head turn without neck tension, but I'm going to be more on my toes, about shoulder width apart or more. I want that so I can get a nice smooth transition as I go each way. If I have the feet too far together, it's not gonna hit as much, and I'm gonna run into some problems really pivoting on my hips. So as I go from more of your front plank or sagittal plane plank, I can transition onto the side or frontal plane. I want to maintain this line. Nice little head turn to make sure I'm not starting to bunch up, or I start to kind of do almost a bicep curl out of it to change the tension. Come back to the middle, hold on the other side, make sure I have my line, and come back and forth. If that's easy, drop down a little bit. Treatment tables, what we have here, countertop works pretty well also. So as I hold on to this, I have my checklist. Up on my toes, ribs down, breathing's good. Neck's loose, arms are engaged. Roll onto the side. We can just start with kind of a nice transition back and forth to begin, just kind of getting the just kind of the rhythm of it down and the feel. Making sure as I go back and forth, kind of my pelvis and my rib cage is coming together, make sure everything's intact. Then we start progressing to holds each way, 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute, whatever we can handle as we increase the capacity. Go each way. So as we get to here, that gets easy. We can then drop down to either like a step or a bench. Easiest thing at home is like a fourth, third, second, first step on a staircase until you get down to the floor. So as we transition down, just keep earning it. I like to think of this as kind of the ab rotisserie. We have another video where when we get down to the floor, we added the extra diagonal component, which we're not going to put in here today. And that feels good. Then we get all the way down to the ground, everything maintains. Always check our little head turns, make sure we don't start to bunch up as we get down towards the ground and increase the load. Main thing also, we want to sort of, as far as keeping the body straight, we want to make sure we don't start to pop the hips up or bunch into the hip flexors. Nice tall spine, keeping the tension where we want it. So that's our basic rolling plank, kind of ab rotisserie. You can start very low hold times at more of a higher angle. And one part of the main point of this too is as you start to burn out, you start to get tired, there's no shame in starting to jump back up just to maintain form and maintain what we're actually going for, the training effect. So you can almost do like a run the rack concept, starting on the ground, then starting to bunch up a little bit as you start to burn out. So you can get more of a duration kind of endurance component into it without having to sacrifice the form.